Peace out and about it. Here for y'all. What is good? It is ShyTheGemini returning for another amazing video. What's up? Hello. I really want to make this video real quick because I'm super tired. I just got back from the gym and I have to go back to work later on tonight. But hi. I'd like to introduce somebody. This is my son, Drogon. Okay, we have a Chinese water dragon. He's a very intelligent creature. I will consider him my familiar. Of course, y'all can't see him, but you know, I like to sit by him when I'm playing a game and stuff to make him feel included. So y'all might can't see him. He's really small, and he doesn't really like to be handled yet by humans, but he's down here somewhere. You know, you may or may not see him, or he may climb up on the leaves and stuff. But this is my baby. This is my son. Okay, my pride and joy. Okay, but I wanted to come. Wasn't really sure what I was gonna make this video about, so I'm just gonna keep it basic and simple. I wanted to briefly talk about tarot, okay, and what tarot is, and basically how tarot relates to your timelines. And when I mean your timeline, I mean your past, present, future. That's what I mean, because people got a lot of misconceptions about it. And I just want to just clear some things up of the things I learned about tarot, okay? So basically tarot is a form of divination, okay? It's basically using cards with certain images and certain pictures to kind of get a bird's eye view of what's going on in someone's timeline. When I mean timeline, I mean like the current path they're on today, or right now, or at the moment that you're pulling cards for them, right? Now, basically the tarot is the fool's journey. I made a video talking about everybody plays the fool. The fool is the first card in the major arcana. Major arcana cards are major life themes or major energies that play a part in basically your current human evolution, okay? These are basically archetypes, and these are basically, like I said, themes that we see every day in human life that we just really don't realize. So for example, you got your wands. This represents fire energy, so taking action, inspired ideas, basically action oriented cards, okay? Actually physical movement, you will say, okay? Then you got your pentacles. Your pentacles represents your earthly realm, right? So your money, your possessions. Pentacles are also ruled by the earth signs, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, for obvious reasons. But your pentacles represents themes in your material world, dealing with money and cars and clothes and anything physical, right? Second house shit. Swords represents mental energy, communicative energy, communication, ideas, mental ideas, right? These are ruled by the air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And then lastly, you got your cups. Cups represents emotional energy, inward energy, intuitive energy, psychic energy, okay, you could say. And they are ruled by the or expressed through water signs, okay? So for example, and like I said, all of those things, all of those four things are things. So you got fire, earth, water, air. All of these themes are, you see every day in humanity when you act in the world. Little do you know, right? So for example, this card, I don't have the basic tarot arcana. I mean, I don't have the basic tarot cards of Rider Waite. This is the steampunk's tarot. I like to use different versions of tarot. But for example, I just put a random card. I'm about to briefly explain what it means, okay? So this card right here, this is the Eight of Cups. As you can see, it's fucking cups, so you know it deals with emotions, okay? Water energy, right? So the Eight of Cups, as you can see, the lady, she's turning her back against the cups, okay? Eight of Cups represents leaving something behind that once gave you emotional fulfillment. And then as you can see, it's 7 cups in this card, but with that 8th cup missing, it really represents something, you know, feels like something's missing. But this card basically means or the basic general reading, because every tarot reader reads cards differently. I like to learn the basic meaning of the cards and then form my own interpretations of them. But basically Eight of Cups. Like, for example, you wouldn't pull this card and be like, oh, you have a great loving relationship with the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups usually means somebody's leaving somebody behind, or it can mean maybe this isn't the relationship for you, or maybe your partner is thinking about leaving something behind. I don't know, some shit like that. Okay, that's how I would interpret it, right? So walking away from things that once from something that once brought you emotional fulfillment sounds like a relatable topic, right? Let me pull another one. You got the High Priestess card. Okay, the High Priestess is the third major arcana. Like I said, it's the major arcana represents the journey that the Fool goes through. So the Fool is number 0. So each major arcana represents major arcana card represents the evolution of the Fool. So with the High Priestess is number 2, the second major arcana card. So after the Fool meets the Magician, he meets the High Priestess. Okay, so the High Priestess energy, it can represent someone highly spiritual. It can represent a mystic. Basically, the High Priestess card represents when you have an idea, it's basically that void. It's basically that void between thought and the universe that sends that message. Okay, so it's that space between, you know how they say your thoughts, you send your thoughts out to the universe. The High Priestess card really represents that, like I said, that void between your thoughts, the signals that you send through your mental energy. There's the void, that High Priestess energy, and then that's the universe. And then the universe sends it back down and creates your reality, right? So like I said, the High Priestess card is very difficult to explain a little bit because it's not earthly. It's not of this world, but it's still, you know. So like I said, these are obviously a theme that sounds familiar in your human experience. King and Queen suits in tarot too. So as I explained, wands, cups, swords, and pentacles, there are people that represents the mastery of those elements or of those themes. Okay, so for example, you got the Queen of Wands, right? So the Queen of Wands represents a female who is a master of wands energy or fire energy. So action oriented, putting ideas into actual life. You know what I'm saying? Like actual the implementation of ideas. So for example, I guess Queen of Wands archetype that we can see in media would be Rihanna. Rihanna is the perfect example I can use as the Queen of Wands. Okay, the Queen of Wands represents a woman who's bold. She has a little masculine energy, but she's still feminine, or like a Tiana Taylor type. You know, they're both fiery. They're both expressive. They both are confident. They both give off bad bitch energy. But yeah, so you can definitely see this archetype in the world through those people. The first two people I thought of. This also represents a fire sign woman, so a woman who's an Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo, right? You also have the King of Wands, right? The King of Wands is the same thing. Is a masculine figure who is the master of wands. Like I said, the master of fire, or the master of implementing action into the world, implementing their ideas into the world. The perfect example of a fire King of Wands energy is Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy is literally the epitome of King of Wands, considering the fact that he's a Leo sun. So he's very confident. He's very sure of himself. The King of Wands is also very generous with his community. He's charismatic. He's usually handsome. He's usually, you know, he's calm. He knows when to act, but he also knows kind of when to retract and kind of pull back and not overexert too much energy. But you know, King of Wands represents a man, like I said, very confident, business oriented, fun, likes adventure. Same thing as the Queen of Wands, right? You also got for example, the King of Swords. The King of Swords, like I said, swords is mental energy. This is a man who, he's not like the King of Wands. The King of Swords is actually quite serious. He's fair, really logical. Emotions don't really appeal to him too much. Not in the simple fact that he's apathetic, but in a way that logic first, okay? Practical, logical planning is paramount. I'll say the perfect example of an archetype we see in media would be Kanye West. Okay, Kanye West could also be a King of Cups energy too, because he does seem to have some emotional intelligence to him. But King of Swords energy will definitely be Kanye or Joe Budden, for example. Joe Budden is very, very, very logical. If you hear him have discussions with women, he's a Virgo too. And even though Virgo's an earth sign, it doesn't matter if it doesn't correlate with the sign. Somebody can still embody his King of Swords energy without actually being an air sign. Okay, so perfect example of King of Swords energy. Somebody's logical, you know. These are just some examples. Okay, now with tarot, a lot of people always ask, you know, it'd be a lot of muggles. And when I mean muggles, if you don't know what muggles are, that's just another word for humans, okay, who are just stuck in the material. They don't really see anything beyond the five senses, okay, who really don't believe in magic, okay. I've had some muggles be like, oh, you know, you read, why don't you tell me my future? Like, it doesn't work like that. Tarot doesn't predict your future. Tarot just really brings out your subconscious into cards, okay. It can give you advice on what to do, or it can point out things that you probably need to be paying attention to, okay, but it does not predict your future. Now, I can pull a certain amount of cards, or a reader can pull a certain amount of cards for you, but this just represents your current energy. Now, based on your decisions that you make after the reading, you alternate your timeline. Therefore, you might get different cards. You know what I'm saying? When I mean alternate your timeline, I mean you have free will to make decisions. So, like I said, relationship, you have the free will to continue to stay in this relationship or disengage in the relationship. Like I said, that's two different decisions leading to two different paths. You know what I'm saying? Leading to two different timelines. Now, if you decide to leave that relationship, and you come back to a tarot reader and be like, okay, pull my cards again, you're going to get different cards compared to if you decided to stay in that relationship. So tarot doesn't predict the future. It just tells you the current energies that are around you from your subconscious in the now. And like I say, your actions modify those cards. You know what I'm saying? So know that. Like I said, I'm learning about timelines and dimensions and stuff. And as I'm expanding, I'm starting to really trying to get a grip on time, the concept of time, because, and this is just me putting my thoughts on camera, but I always think, you know how people be like, oh, you're supposed to be here, or you're exactly where you should be. Well, sometimes I kind of question that, because it's just like, I know, like, for example, in the past, I'm sure y'all could have made better decisions that would lead you to a better result in your present. So when people be like, you know, you're exactly where you're supposed to be, I'll be looking back like, damn, 2 years later, if I would have did this, I would have been in a completely different space. Well, now, so this is the result of like where you are now, or where I am now, is a result of choices that I made in the past. So I'm really trying to, because like I said, free will is a gift, and it's also a curse as well. Like I said, free will is a gift where spirit or your ancestors or your guides will never interfere with your timeline unless you act upon it yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm not saying you're really out on your own here, but spirit comes as that sixth element to kind of alter that a little bit. Because like I said, you got 5 senses, and then you also got spirit. Sight, smell, touch, taste, hearing. Yeah, spirit is the 6th sense, okay? The things that, you know, what they call the miracle. Like, oh my God, I almost got into a car accident, but, you know, the car missed me by this much. That's spirit. That's the 6th element. That's that unexplainable energy, what people call God or the higher power, or Yeshua, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I'm really thinking about that. But you got to understand where you are now. Even when you're watching this video, you're on a certain timeline. Okay, now depends on what you do after this video. After you finish watching this video, your timeline can be altered based on your free will and choices. Okay, so that's when people say that's what the 7 of Cups is about, choosing wisely. The 7 of Cups represents kind of being in your head, imagination, having all these thoughts and ideas, or having all these different ways to go, but kind of getting glamorized in the thought process, you know. So yeah, choose wisely when you make decisions. But yeah, tarot doesn't predict your future. Tarot just tells what's going on in your current timeline, and the timeline can shift based on your choices and your decisions. So that's what I'm saying. Like when you come into spirituality, when you become a god, or when you do alchemy of the soul, you're really going to be held accountable for your actions now, because now you know better, or you should know better, right? So I'm not saying we alone in this, but I'm saying sometimes I kind of see why people don't leave religion, because it's easier to not take accountability to your life and then just give your life to a deity. But when you know you're a god, and when you know you're attracting experiences in your reality that you don't like, you kind of don't have anybody to blame but yourself, because at that point when you steady, you know that the mind is all, the universe is mental, so your subconscious is responsible for your reality. So it's like, damn, you can't blame the devil no more. You kind of got to blame yourself, and not blame yourself like beat yourself up, but acknowledge, hey, this is happening to me because in my subconscious I'm having these thoughts, and these thoughts are manifesting as these things going on in my reality. And that's a big responsibility, you know what I'm saying? Like being a god, big responsibility. You're off the training wheels, you're off the titty, so you can't really blame the devil or demons for what's happening in your life, because now you're responsible for your frequency, and you're responsible for your reality. So like I said, it was kind of like you're growing up from growing up from religion, when you're not a child anymore. Religion keeps people dependent. Religion keeps people in a childlike state, okay? And speaking of religion, I also did want to do a video on Christianity and how Christianity is sun worship. So I think I might make that my next video. Either that, or being a black sheep of your family, and what that means, and why that you're the black sheep of your family. Because I have a lot of experience in that. I'm obviously the black sheep of my family. And yeah, I did want to touch bases on that. But anyway, I just wanted to come share that little piece of information, give y'all some empowerment. So if you get a bad reading, you can just alter the fucking reading by changing your current choices, and you'll get a different reading. So it's not that complicated. Anyway, with that being said, I do gotta get up out of here, but I appreciate y'all for watching. If you want a reading, I put all my stuff in the description box. I really want to thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being so supportive. Y'all are bomb. Y'all are really very supportive, and I really appreciate y'all. And I'm out this thing. Bye.